What's up, family? Welcome to Beyond the Pulpit with.
Brian and Sarada.
I hope y'all are doing well today. So, this is part two for you. Part two. I think we're going to talk about planning and preparation.
Oh, wow.
Planning and preparation. That's something that a lot of us fail to do. We fail to plan and we fail to prepare. So in part one, I kind of mentioned that we was going to be talking about the process, the planning, and the preparation that it took to have a successful engagement.
Mm.
Yeah. So it was hard. When I tell you it's hard, and I think we fail to realize that the planning part, we the planning is easy.
Mm.
Preparing it gets a little rough in the process or in the stages of preparing for what you're planning to do, but executing it is where it gets really hard.
That's it.
It gets really hard in the season of execution. So we are just here to kind of encourage you, to plan, to prepare, and then execute. We oftentimes make mistakes with doing things too fast.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's one of the main things, as a someone that work on a college campus dealing with students and that's coming into the real world. We tend to move too fast.
Yeah.
When I was little, I always tell my parents, I can't wait to be grown. I can't
Oh,
wait to
my God.
be grown.
Baby, I regret it. Can I come back
I
home?
can't wait to be grown. I'm so tired of being at home. I want to be grown. But now that I'm grown, I want to go back to being a kid, where I didn't have responsibilities. I didn't have bills. I didn't have, yeah, all of these obligations that I have to uphold to. But in those times and in that moment, it took planning, preparation, and executing for my parents to instill what was needed to be instilled in me for me to become the person I am today.
I like
So,
that.
the engagement. How did you like the engagement?
Oh, my God. My mind was blown because it was, I can't even articulate the way that you plan, the way that you have my family there. I'm talking about the decor was just immaculate. I'm like, oh my God, this man have taste. Like, let me tell y'all, he's the decorator, okay? You would think it would be me, but this man taste is like none other. But I was in awe, really, because to see all the work that he put in just
Yeah,
for me. And I just want you to know that's how God is.
yeah,
He loves you so much that
yeah,
what he has for you is just for you.
yeah,
It is tailor made. And that's how I
yeah,
felt about our engagement.
yeah.
Like I'm talking about the planning, the people, the decor, and the love.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you really know me. The people that you had there were the people that I vibe with, that's been there. And even though we couldn't invite everybody,
Yeah,
we were able to invite them to the wedding. But it was just that intimate moment. It made me think of the dream that I had when I was a little girl. Like, oh, I want this nice engagement. I want all my people there. And I'm like, God, you surpassed my understanding.
mm-hmm.
So I just want to say thank you for that.
And even with that, we have to realize that there is, like she said, God only wants the best for you. And sometimes we don't see the best in what we're going through, but it's
Mm,
all things work together for our good.
yes.
And we have to kind of go back to the beginning. Sometimes you have to go back to the basics, go back to the beginning. The Bible says, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, He already had a plan for you."
Yeah.
And there's different things that He planned for you. You just gotta stay grounded, stay rooted, stay grounded. So it's good to hear her say that, but she don't know a lot of the behind the scenes.
I don't.
A lot of the behind the scenes. Sometimes planning takes extra hands. It takes extra eyes. It takes extra people to make sure that the vision comes to pass. It's one thing to write the vision and make it plain for somebody else to understand it, but it's another thing to have a team that stands behind you to execute the vision. So I knew that what I wanted to give her was not something I could achieve on my own. Sometimes you have to just come to a consensus within yourself to say, I can't do this by myself.
Wow.
You know, sometimes we try to master the world, we try to master life by ourselves
Yeah.
when we need a hand.
Oh yeah.
You know, you might need advice, you might need constructive criticism. You know, everything that
Yeah.
somebody say to you to better you is not to hurt you.
Yeah.
Take constructive criticism. So I needed a team. So what I did was, cause you know she 5 stars, so she liked the best. So I was scared that if it wasn't that, I wouldn't have got the answer that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I love you for you.
So I spoke with her friends, you know, people that I knew had her best interest at heart.
Yeah.
And this is for all of the young men, and not just young men, but older, you know, men that are trying to, you know, you got the YNs.
Not the YN. He didn't mean that. You see how we
I mean
play all
the
the
young
time.
men, the YMs.
Oh,
And
YM. Yeah,
and
YM.
the OGs.
You've been around the young people too long. You're trying to be young. It ain't working. Don't do that.
That's what happened when you're working on the college campus. But
That's it.
some of them act like YM. No, but you have the YMs, the young men, and you have the OGs that are planning marriage. Be sure to get a collective team that not just have your best interest at heart as a man, but has her best interest at heart as well.
Yeah.
So the team that I had to kind of plan and prepare for our engagement, it was a collective. There was men that had my best interest at heart, and there was also I inquired and got a lot of her female friends involved, sisters involved, to make sure that I wasn't missing a beat. And one thing that one of her close friends told me was create you a checklist. Sometimes in the planning process, you got to create a checklist. She told me to create a checklist, and once you check off all the boxes, go back through and recheck them again. So sometimes planning takes you creating a checklist, fulfilling what's on the checklist, checking off the boxes, going back through the checklist to make sure that you didn't miss something. And surprisingly, even though I checked off all the boxes, I was still missing stuff.
Gotta preach.
Sometimes we think that we've checked off all the boxes and something is still missing.
Something's still missing.
Go back and
Go back.
check your life. Do a self-evaluation on your life.
Self-evaluation.
Sometimes we think we checked off. Oh, you the saved person. Oh, you this, you that.
Yep.
You think you done checked off all the boxes, but let me remind you, just check it again. You
Check
might
it
have missed
again.
something.
Go look again.
And go back and look
again.
again.
You know we preachers. We gotta stop. We gotta
Go
stop.
back and look again. Now, there's something with going back and looking again, because you have to be careful. Some things it's best to go back and look again and check, but then there's some things when God has told you to leave it alone, leave it alone. When God has told you to
Preach.
walk away, walk away. Prime example, Lot's wife.
Mm-hmm.
God told them to walk away and not to look back, and she disobeyed. So there's consequences when you disobey the hand of the mouth of God.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful. Now I want you to check your boxes off, and but yeah, don't go back to the wrong thing to check that off. You know, if He told you to leave it alone, leave it alone. But she told me to recheck my boxes, and I got a collective team together. That team, I mean, they were. I created a Facebook chat, and everything that I was planning and I wanted to do, I just literally put in a chat. And I'm one of those forerunners, so I sometimes don't wait. My patience. I look like I got patience, y'all, but I really, God is working on me with patience. Patience has its perfect work in all of us. He's working on me with patience.
Do it,
But
Lord. Do it, Lord.
so but it worked because instead of waiting, I kind of just went and I just started buying and buying and buying and buying. I was buying a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, if you need decorations, we got decorations for that too. So I was just buying a whole lot of stuff, and then I was doing ring shopping, and throughout the process of doing ring shopping, I'm sending rings, I'm sending pictures and all of those type of things, and sometimes it can become very frustrating to plan and prepare.
Yep.
because the original date for the engagement was really supposed to be in October.
Hmm.
It was supposed to be in October, but it was like everything was coming up and nothing was working according to plan. And it was just because it was my plan and not God's plan.
Mm.
Because I wanted to do it in my timing and not his timing, and not consult him about what I was trying to do, for him to give me direction on how to do it. So, in other words, when you are trying to plan, you need to consult with God about what you need to do, how you need to do it, and he'll give you grace to fulfill it. So we went through the whole planning process and it got down. I think the hardest part was finding a building.
Hmm.
That was the hardest part. It was like, y'all, these buildings are expensive. So finding a building. But when her friends came through, and she was on me the whole time. I mean, if I went a day without checking in, she was calling my phone like, "What's going on?" Didn't know. You need to be communicating. So you need to have, which brings me to a point. You need to have accountability partners. You
Absolutely.
need to have people that are gonna hold you to a standard of, a standard of excellence. We talked about a standard of righteousness in the first episode, but this episode 2, we're going to talk about a standard of excellence, how to operate in excellence. Because you can easily throw something together. I could have easily took her to a restaurant and said, "Hey, boom." I seen an engagement where the man just literally set the ring on the table, and they kept eating. She put it on her finger. They fist bumped each other, and that was it. But I knew my wife. You can easily do something backyard. You can easily put something together. And I always encourage people operate on the level that you are living on. Operate on the level that you're living on. Don't try to do nothing outside your means or above your means. Um,
So wait, pause.
okay.
You wrapped that up pretty good. Okay.
Okay.
We have a question coming in, and it said, "Is marriage what you thought it would be?"
I think marriage is more than what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I would say the same.
I think it's more than what I thought it would be, because we go into marriage and we have this idea that it's going to be a certain way, and then but we don't count up the costs, but we leave out some of the expenses,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, because so you can count up things, but you don't incorporate everything that might be entailed in that cost. So going through some of the things, and you're learning later on in the episodes, going through some of the warfare that we endured, I didn't think that it would cost this much to get married. In a sense of emotions, in a sense of spirituality, in a sense of, physically, going through some of the things that we went through. Later in the episode, you're gonna find out how I had to literally take care of my wife. Like, that's something that I would think that we would have to do like 20 years down the line, not 4 months. In 4 months in marriage, I'm having to, bathe her, feed her, you know, get up every morning, clean up, and she can't move or do
I
for
made him a
herself.
house husband, y'all.
She
This
can't.
man can
She
clean.
can't.
I didn't know he can clean that way. I'm
And
like,
she can't do for herself. So sometimes we look at the good in marriage, but we don't count up the cost of the negative in marriage. We leave out that part of the vow where it says for better or for worse, because we always look at the better, but we don't count up the cost of the worse. So I think a lot of marriages fail, because we always looking at the betterment of something, but we don't count up the worst of something. Am I able to love you in your worst state? Am I able to love you when the worst come out of your mouth? Am I able to love you when the worst of your emotions are showing? We don't count up the cost. So we look at the better. Oh, this is good right now. This is, and you always go through the honeymoon stage where everything just seems amazing, but the honeymoon stage fade away.
so my answer on that is marriage is more than what I thought it would be.
Hmm.
Um, God exceeded my expectation, but I feel like marriage is ministry. Like through marriage, I am getting healed. I'm learning myself, and I'm learning how to correct things that was embedded in me. Because as you live, God start revealing His truth.
Yeah.
The way. He's the way, the truth, and the life. So if He's the way, there is a way that is right.
Yeah.
and you have to abide by it. So I realized that I have a lot of shortcomings, and some things that I was
That's
okay
good.
with, yeah, some things I was okay with growing up, I'm no longer okay with
Yeah.
because I've grown in God.
Yeah.
So I feel like marriage, like I said, it's ministry, and you
Mhm.
make each other better. It's iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
He empowered me when I'm weak, vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then uh, for all my people that are getting married, thinking about getting married or waiting on getting married, let me tell you, that scripture that says, "When a man findeth a wife, he found a good thing, he obtains favor." I got favor, y'all.
Okay.
I got favor.
Favor come with the wife. Okay, we brings the favor.
Yeah, I got favor. When I tell you, I was operating on a certain level before my marriage, and before me, she became my wife. However, when she became my wife, there was another level of glory that came with that.
Oh my God. Help us, Lord.
There's another
Help us,
level.
Lord.
So, yeah, stop playing games. If you know it's time. Go get that woman a ring. But anyways,
Do you want to do another question?
yeah, we can do one more question.
Because they want to find out about us. Okay. What is something that you would like to change about yourself?
Ooh.
Ooh. Ah, that's hard. Let's see.
So me personally, you want to go first?
Go ahead. Go ahead. That one, give me a moment.
So I would say what I would like to change about myself is growing up as a man, you're always taught to not show or express emotions. You're always taught, you're not supposed to cry. You're always taught, you're supposed to be tough. You're supposed to, hold everything in. So me now, that I'm married, I'm learning how to express my emotions. I'm learning how to communicate how I feel. I'm learning how to let a tear drop. Because before I just internalized a lot of things. And now my wife, she's like, no, stress is the number one killer. She's all about all of that. So she makes sure, I'm verbal about how I feel. And sometimes, she understands that sometimes, man, there has been some conversations that came up, and we be like, well, now is not the time to talk about it.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with your partner telling you now is not the time to talk about this. Maybe we need to revisit this in the future, or maybe we need to give each other time to kind of come to a level ground before we approach a conversation, or even maybe we might need to get outside counseling. I tell people all the time, yeah, I recommend premarital counseling. However, after the marriage, you still need to go through some kind of counseling.
Absolutely.
Because it's two people merging, it's two people trying to understand each other, it's two people trying to stay in counseling. I'm telling you, stay in counseling. I think that's one of the main things that kind of keeps us in a good place to where we can easily say, no, we haven't had, we don't argue like that, but we get the necessary help we need to understand each other. So I think one thing I would change about myself is continuing to learn how to communicate my emotions and communicate how I feel. Because as a man, you're taught something different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's breaking the stigma that you're only tough if you show a certain level of testosterone and not communicate how you feel. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to let somebody know today is not the day. It's okay to let somebody know, no, I'm hurting on the inside. It's okay to let somebody know I'm just not at my greatest right now. And and the crazy thing is when I started doing that, my wife was able to speak life into me. So even in doing that, make sure you do it with people that is able to speak life. Because there's some people that is okay with you being in the place that you're in. There is some people that is okay seeing you down as long as they're up. So that's where I would go with that.
I would say, I would say basically expressing immediately how I feel about situation. because my husband knows like when something is wrong with me. It can be just life or just something I'm thinking about, and I would kind of initially hold it in instead of just telling him, "Hey, this is how I feel,"
Yeah.
or I feel like I don't want to put a weight on people, and I always been like that since I was a child. I never wanted to harm anyone. I never wanted to cause confusion, but I just feel like now I just need to be, because I'm married, and you have to realize when you say yes, y'all become one. So when
Hmm.
my husband asks me what's going on, I should be initially ready to tell him, "Hey, this is what I'm going through," because honestly, God uses him to heal me. Just talking to him with the counsel that he gives me, I'm able to pivot where I am. So, women, it is okay to be vulnerable because we have that problem too. Y'all think it's just y'all, but no, we have a problem with being vulnerable, to an extent. So, it's okay to trust your partner because they are your safe place if they are a safe partner.
Right.
You got it. That's why we talking about God ordained marriages. We have to
Yeah.
be clear because sometimes you marry
Wrong.
bozo.
You marry wrong.
You marry wrong and you marry strong because you stood 10 toes down on your yes, and it should have been a no. It should have been a no. Okay, but yeah,
But yeah, so that's a good question.
that was a great
Um,
question, and I love how y'all are inboxing us, asking us these questions because we are growing together. We don't have all the answers, but we're just
no.
telling you our testimonies about just life and what God has done in our life. And we know if God can do it for us, He surely can do it for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day to fall in love. Love isn't reserved just for one day. Introducing the He Global Signature Collection. Eternal for him, bold, timeless, unforgettable. Desire for her, elegant, captivating, and irresistible. Crafted for every moment, every embrace, every lasting memory. Available as a complete his and her collection, or individually because every love story is unique. Fall in love with the fragrance long before you fall in love with the moment. Shop now at he-global.online.
One question is, where do you see yourself going in the future? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, y'all. Hold up. Nah. In the future, I'm going to just be honest. I am, when people ask who I am, truly a child of God. And my decisions are based on the word. My decisions are based on my relationship with God. And I already know the promises He has for me. I already know the calling that is on my life. So I just want to be all that God has me to be. Whatever He want me to do, I want to do it, and I want to do it flawlessly. I want to do it with respect. I want to do it with honor. I want to glorify Him. And I'm not even saying that to be religious. I'm not trying to say it to be churchy, but anybody knows me because I've gone through so much and I've seen the hand of God. I just want to please God, whether that's in ministry, me preaching, in my home as a wife, because that's ministry, in my relationships with my friends, because that's ministry, in my job. I want to please God and I want to operate in the fullness that He called me before I leave this earth. So, yeah, I want to please Him. What is yours? What is something you want to accomplish in the future?
So in the future, I am starting school in August to get my doctorates.
Come on, doctor. Come on, doctor.
Starting school in August to get my doctorate. So I am asking, I'm thanking God for the grace to be able to take that step and that leap of faith. So I'll be acquiring my doctorates, and then I'm planning on releasing a book soon.
I didn't even know that.
So
Hey, man.
stay tuned. So I am
Okay.
in the process of writing right now, um, and some release dates will be coming out soon. So I'm planning on launching my book, and prayerfully in 2027 breaking ground on a franchise. Yeah.
And speaking of book, make sure you go get my book, The Blessing of Pain. Is on all platforms: Amazon, Books a Million, every online platform. Make sure you go order that. And we're going to actually talk about that, some of it in the next segment, talking about the things that we've gone through, how it was a blessing, even the trauma, the trials, and the tears. It was all a blessing.
There's a blessing in pain. There's a blessing in pain. So go get that book.
And there's a lesson. You are awesome, gang. After you go through the pain, okay? Somebody? All right. But this is our life. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can inbox us. And we will make sure we will answer those questions on our live. We're just here to talk about our life and how God will bring you through anything that you're going through. I'm telling you, always make sure you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything you need will be added unto you. We did not get here by accidents or coincidence, but we got here because our steps are ordered by God. Anything that you want to be, the dreams that you have, consult God to make sure they are in alignment and watch God work. He said he wants us to have a fruitful life, an abundant life, a life of joy. So we can't stay stuck. We got to soar.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
Anything you want to say before we close out? We have 5 more minutes, 4 more.
So I'm going to say that we love you, but in life, it's going to take planning, preparation before you execute.
Oh, that's good.
Planning, preparation, and then you move to execution. And in that process, make sure that you have a team. One thing that we didn't talk about in engagement, everybody that you incorporate in your team, you will sometimes find out is not equipped to be a part of the team.
No, that's good.
So, you know.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You got 3 minutes to.
Everybody is not equipped
Just a
to be
little
a part of the team, and you have to be okay with releasing that person. Sometimes we hold on to people that God has told us, you know, to release and let go, and that could become detrimental to what you are planning or what you are trying to execute. So be okay with releasing what needs to be released and holding on to what needs to be held on to.
That's good.
Plan, prepare, and then execute.
And don't take the dead weight with you.
Don't take the dead
It's going to
weight with
hold you down. It's time to soar and thrive.
Yeah.
All right?
So other than that, this is episode 2, titled Planning, Preparing, and Executing. Thank you for the questions. Again, we look forward to it. Y'all, we new at this. We are very, very new at this. This was just, I don't even know. This is something that God told us to do, and we just did it. So we're going to roll with the punches. This is nothing scripted. This is all just flowing. So, yeah, we thank you for being a part of our lives beyond the pulpit.
Beyond the pulpit.
Until next time, have a good day.